Today on Cyberwork Hacks, Infosec Bootcamp instructor Wilfredo Lanz talks about the difference between the Azure AZ-104 certification for cloud administrators and the AZ-500 certification for cloud security professionals, and why all cybersecurity professionals are going to need to be cloud masters in the security landscape of the future.
If you already have some skills in legacy IT on-premises technology, when you enhance that to the cloud, you expand your possibilities, your opportunities.
Cloud isn't the future, it's the present and the future. See you today in Cyberwork Hacks. The IT and cybersecurity job market is thriving. Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts 377,500 new IT jobs annually. You need skill and hustle to obtain these jobs, of course, but the good news is that cybersecurity professionals can look forward to extremely competitive salaries. That's why Infosec has leveraged 20 years of industry experience, drawing from multiple sources to give you, Cyberwork listeners, an analysis of the most popular and top-paying industry certifications. You can use it to navigate your way to a good-paying cybersecurity career. So to get your free copy of our Cybersecurity Salary Guide ebook, just click the link in the description below. It's right there near the top, just below me. You can't miss it. Click the link in the description and download our free Cybersecurity Salary Guide ebook. Your cybersecurity journey starts here. Now, let's get the show started. Welcome to a new episode of Cyberwork Hacks. The purpose of this spin-off of our popular Cyberwork podcast is to take a single fundamental question and give you a quick, clear, actionable solution or a new insight into how to utilize Infosec products and training to achieve your work and career goals. My guest today, Wilfredo Lanz, is an Infosec instructor, and among his many areas of expertise, he is the instructor for our Microsoft Azure Dual Cert Bootcamp. At the end of this bootcamp, participants will take and likely pass the Azure Administrator Associate and the Azure Security Engineer Associate certifications. But what are they? So what's the difference, and which one or both will you need depending on your cybersecurity career? Wilfredo's going to break it down for you. So welcome, Wilfredo.
Thank you, Chris.
So Wilfredo, let's start with Microsoft Azure broadly. Azure obviously is a brand-specific cloud computing platform. Can you talk about Azure as a platform and its differences with, say, AWS, Amazon Web Service, or other branded cloud computing platforms?
Absolutely. Azure as a cloud provider is a second global cloud provider. Amazon still has the first place.
Right.
Amazon started back in 2006. And they have been adding services and resources to the cloud offering. Microsoft started back in 2010. But over the years, they have been strong on their cloud resources offering to either public companies, businesses, government. Microsoft advantage, I would say, is because there are many businesses that have deployed Windows operating systems, servers, and private networks, right? When those businesses try to go to the cloud, they don't shut down everything they have and start, 100% on the cloud. For most businesses, it's a transitioning process in which they start moving workloads and resources to the cloud, and then they need to keep a hybrid environment.
Right.
In those cases, I would say is when you see most of the customers preferring Microsoft solution because they already are familiar with the Windows operating systems, with Windows networks, and they transition to the cloud in a easier way than if they just start brand new with Amazon.
Right.
However, Amazon does provide a huge platform for developers, businesses that want to start from scratch all the way to the cloud. So they compete very strong for every customer that they can, get. But again, Microsoft also, because of that advantage they have of being provider of software and hardware for many years to many businesses, then they provide that easier transition.
Yeah. Now, I guess in your experience, are there specific industries or job sectors that especially favor Azure as their cloud platform of choice? I assume it comes down to whether certain industries or companies are Microsoft focused, but if is it something like, if you're going into finance or healthcare or government, is Azure more commonly used in certain industries than in others?
Yeah, well, every business will evaluate their
Okay.
priorities and, decide on which offer is better for them. However, especially in those three options that you mentioned, government, Microsoft built separate data centers.
Okay.
They have within the cloud solutions, there is an area they call government cloud
Ah.
that is all the Azure, the same Azure tools and resources that we use and manage, but dedicated to the government. So in the area of the government, they are very strong because they build those specific data centers for the government. In the case of healthcare and finance, these are heavily regulated businesses, right? In
Yes.
healthcare and finance, so in that area, also Microsoft is very um, oriented to compliance issues.
Mm.
They have a large um, amount of resources that they make available to ensure that organizations in the areas of healthcare and finance are compliant with laws, regulations, frameworks, best practices. So it's an area where Microsoft actually has been gaining more and more customers. If you work in finance or healthcare, there is a great possibility that you are going to get some type of a relationship with the Microsoft Cloud as your company moves to the cloud.
Okay. Now, I want to just delineate this briefly. I think probably our listeners know some of this, but as I say, we're talking about a couple of related but structurally different Azure certifications. Can you talk about the parameters of the Microsoft Azure Administrator Associate certification versus the Azure Security Engineer Associate certification? What are you learning in the 104, as you said, versus the 500?
Yeah, the 104 is the classic administrator job.
Okay.
If you uh, go for that certification, then it is expected that you will be deploying Azure resources like virtual machines, containers, storage account, what we call compute resources, storage, networking, and some light security implementations. But this is more day-to-day operations, managing resources,
Okay.
performance, allocation of resources and services on the cloud. On the other hand, the AC500, the security technologies on the cloud, is more concentrated on protecting those resources, on making sure that you minimize, mitigate risk, and manage threat that may be associated with those resources. So the two certifications complement each other, right?
Yeah.
Because you cannot secure something that you do not understand. You can, if you go to security, but you do not understand how to deploy those resources, then the job is more challenging. So I would say, a day you become an administrator and then you can stay there. Now you can also, being an administrator, take the security certification, and that enhances your skills and opportunities on the
Hmm.
cloud.
Yeah. Now, okay, that's great. So, yeah, I imagine even if you are just doing an administrator role, there's no downside to knowing sort of security postures and security techniques that are in the higher level thing as well. I mean, it might even be able to help you to change or evolve your job role if your superiors also know that not only can you deploy and work on cloud, that you also have some ideas in terms of how to secure it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, one last question here. For people planning on going into cybersecurity, maybe they're even doing something that wouldn't look on first blush to look like it would be at all interacting with the cloud, like say digital forensics or what have you. What are the benefits of being this proficient in all things cloud computing? I mean, do you think even non-cloud security aspirants should still consider learning these certifications?
Well, the thing is, right, that the cloud is no longer an option. The cloud is a default.
Right.
The cloud is not the future. The cloud is the present and the future.
Yep.
I mean, the cloud is not a niche, it's a core skill. For most businesses, cloud is becoming more and more important. And that's that trend that we will see increasing as, in the future. So if you already have some skills in legacy, IT, on-premises technology, when you enhance that to the cloud, you expand your possibilities, your opportunities. I cannot imagine, in the next few years that somebody would stay just isolated, managing resources on a private network without having some responsibilities exposed to the cloud. So it is very difficult for somebody getting a job in IT these days and not being familiar with the
Yeah.
cloud administration. And we're not talking Azure, it's overall
All the way
cloud
around.
resources.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's worth noting is that we talk all the time about future proofing your skills, and if you want your skills to still be relevant in a couple of years, they better darn well have a cloud component to them. So that's great. So Wilfredo Lanz, thank you for breaking down these Azure certs for us, and also the future of cloud security.
Thank you, Chris.
And thank you all for watching this episode. If you enjoyed this video and felt that it helped you, please share it with colleagues, forums, your social media accounts, or wherever you tell people about cool things you're learning about. For more hacks and feature-length conversations with cybersecurity thought leaders, tune into Cyberwork, both on video via our YouTube channel and as a podcast in all the usual podcast places. The links are all down in the description below. And if you like this hacks format, check out previous Hacks episodes on everything from hacking APIs to using ChatGPT to learn cybersecurity. That's it for now. Till next time, this is Chris and Wilfredo saying happy learning.